Now, one of the first analytical procedures to do with your images is to quantify the optical signal in your images. And this can be readily done by using a region of interest, or ROI, analytical approach. To draw a region of interest, go down to Toolbox, down to Measure, and select one of the ROI drawing tools. You can draw rectangular ROIs, elliptical ROIs, freehand ROIs, and when you're doing analyses of 96 well plates, you can actually do a grid ROI analysis, and we can demonstrate that later on. So for now, given the fact that we have essentially a circular signal coming from each of the mice, and by the way, what we're looking at here as far as a model goes is an ectopic tumor of bioluminescent cells in the subcutaneous space above the right thigh of these mice. We'll go ahead and select the circular ROI, and to more easily draw the ROI, one can zoom into any one image and draw the ROIs in an enlarged image. So I'm going to double click on this top left image, and now we can begin to draw an ROI over the right thigh of the mouse, and I'm making it large enough so that it will encompass all of these signals on the mice to the right. We can position that accordingly, and now what you can do is copy paste by double clicking inside the ROI. You can see the activation of the ROI by the squares at the north, south, east, west ordinates of the circular ROI, and right mouse click copy, go outside of the ROI, right mouse click paste ROI, again go in, double click to activate and drag, and you can continue to do this for all the first 5 mice. We've drawn all the regions of interest to go ahead and quantify signal in the mice. We can go ahead and add one final ROI that we can use as a means of evaluating the signal away from the mice as background. And we are now ready basically to do a summary analysis of the data that we've acquired through the use of ROIs. Now, given that we are doing an evaluation of a bioluminescent image, the data here for the signal of each pixel in the image is expressed in terms of radians, where radians is a compound unit basically standing for photons per second per centimeter squared per steradian. And when you do an ROI analysis, the area components of radians get canceled out. And so what you're left with is total photons per second. And that indeed is what these numbers per ROI stand for, the total number of photons per second within the ROI. And you can visually summarize this in a table format by going down to Toolbox and Measurements and clicking on the ruler icon. And this will now give you all of the ROI data in a summary table format. And there are various parameters that you can access by going to Edit Columns and choosing the parameters that may be of interest to you. Not only quantitative aspects of the data, but various metadata associated with the image acquisition. And I invite you to check this out. Now, for the purposes of saving this data, what you can do is save it as a CSV file and load it up into Excel at your leisure for further quantitative evaluation. And as noted previously, the data parameter that you will want to use for the evaluation of signal quantification is total emission in units of photons per second, presented here. Now, a final note on the data presented here in Measurement Manager. We are not simply looking at the ROI data from image 1, remembering that image 1 is part of a group acquire, a set of 6 overall images, the ROIs have been applied across all 6 images, and you can see that here in Measurement Manager that the image number ranges from 1 to 6. And indeed, when you go ahead and zoom back out, what you can see is that the ROIs drawn in image 1 have indeed been applied across the entire group acquired set of images, images 1 through 6. Now, on many occasions, investigators have the desire to go ahead and save the ROI analysis that they've done. And in Aura, this is readily doable through a feature known as Save Experiment. Simply go to File, down to Save Experiment, and you will be saving the composite of the ROI analysis superimposed on your original .ami files in the form of a .aura file. So by way of example, we can go ahead and save the ROI analysis, and by way of proof of concept, we can go ahead now and clear the table and bring the images back, specifically bring the .aura Save Experiment files back. So to select all the images for easy clearance, go ahead and click Select All. This will cause all the images to be selected as indicated here by the top left green triangle. You can go to File, Unload Selected, File, Load Experiment, and now what we'll see is that we have all 6 images with not only the optical data, but the superimposed ROI analysis.